Hello and welcome back to another tutorial of the EMP query language. Today I want to show you how you can connect to a database and get data from a database and display it in EMP on a dashboard or whatever. So first of all, we have multiple sources that we can use for connecting to a database. So we have out of the box MS SQL, MySQL, Oracle, and Postgres, and we also have the JDBC one. This one is a little bit special because you, depending on the database that you want to connect to, you also have to copy the drivers and so on. So what I will show you today is basically for these four here, and for the purpose of this tutorial I will use Postgres because I set up a Postgres database on my local host. Here it is. It's basically just Postgres database with one table that has some performance load test data in here from a framework called Gatlytron, and we want to fetch this data. So first of all, we need a database connection. This is something that has to be set up by an administrator under the context settings, and basically here in the context settings we can go and say we want to have a Postgres environment, and let's say here we want to have the name the tutorial, and my DB host is localhost, the DB port is the default port, with the DB name that is Postgres, user Postgres, also Postgres. So, and then we can basically add, and if everything is fine, we get context settings created successfully. So we have these here. Now back to the query. Now here I can use the content assist to select the environment that we are working with. So I hit Control Space, and then it lists me the available Postgres environments. So here we have one that I set up before for testing, and the one that we just created. You see we have two different IDs here. I select one of these, and then in the content assist as well, we see we have two parameters, the environment that we just set, and we have the query. So with the query, it's basically just your SQL query in the Postgres flavor. So let's see if this works. We do a select star from our Gatlytron table, and we see that seems to work. So we basically have this data here. Now we have this time here, and often we want to have stuff filtered by time, but currently when I select here anything, nothing happens because we work with SQL, so EMP cannot just filter the data for you because it has no clue what data you give it, right? So how we do that, let me copy that from the manual. So here is a basic example how you do that. So we have select star from Gatlytron, and now we have the time column here. This is fine, and we want to have the earliest and latest time. Now this will probably not work for the reason that the time that is returned by Gatlytron is in seconds and not in milliseconds. And this one is milliseconds. So we have to divide this by 1000. What else is here? Oh, excuse me. Good. And now we can basically filter by time. So currently we have 2380 something. But when I take the last 30 minutes, I only have the data of the last 30 minutes. So like this, you can hand over the time to your query. So what next? Yeah, so basically now you can just use the query language here for whatever you want. So let's say we want to have filter request is not null. Good, so we have everything that is a request, and then I want to have statistics. Or now let's make a chart. I'm very lazy, so I tend to copy paste all the time because it just saves time as well. So we have x would be time, and then I would like to have OK min, OK mean, OK. Do we have else? Page 95. OK max. And I have a chart. Good. Now this chart is a little bit an issue because we have multiple points per time, I would say, so we can handle that by adding the by request. Good. Now we have it by request, and then we could probably also do it by multi-chart equals true. Now we have multiple charts for all this stuff. Yeah. So as you see, you can very fast get data from your database, do whatever with what you want with it. To be able to use this source, you need the permission, the database Postgres. So if you go to user management here, we have this permission here, database Postgres. Good. Anything else that I can tell you? Yeah, one thing. There is a limit in EMP regarding how much data you can manipulate, and so sometimes it's good to filter as early as possible, because if you get all the data from the database, then it goes through the whole pipeline in the query language. So for example, for statistics, you might want to use the capabilities of your SQL to create the statistics already on the database, because then the data doesn't have to be transferred over the network, but you already get the statistics. So yeah, just a little bit of a performance tip. filter as soon as possible, try to use the features of your query language to create the data that you actually want. And yeah, that's basically it. So I hope you enjoyed it and that you will be able to find a lot of data in your databases that you can create nice dashboards with.